In this video, I am covering the Garden of Gethsemane and the Via Dolorosa, which is the path that Jesus walked to his death. Starting with a view here of the top of Mount of Olives, because at Mark 14, when Jesus finished praying with his apostles, after singing praises, they went to Mount of Olives. Then they headed eastward. At the foot of Mount of Olives is a garden called Gethsemane, where Jesus was accustomed to going. Once they arrived at this spot, some of these olive trees in this video date back to 1,000 years old. But if you can recall, when he was praying, he left the 8 apostles behind and he told them to sit there while he went over to pray. And look how beautiful the flowers are. And he went further into the garden. He was greatly troubled because remember when he stated, "I am deeply grieved." And he told his disciples to stay there and watch with him. And he prayed to his Father. "Father, all things are possible for you. Remove this cup from me. It's not what I want, but for your will to take place." And then when he returned a third time, he caught his apostles sleeping. At a time like this, they were sleeping and resting. Now we head to the Via Dolorosa. The Via Dolorosa is a route in Old City Jerusalem believed to be the path that Jesus walked on the way to his death. He was in agony. This is very, very touching and emotional for myself and everyone who went. If you can go, I definitely suggest going. But let's get into some facts about the Via Dolorosa. It's about a half a mile long, and as you can see, it's pretty wide. So imagine as Jesus is walking, people are looking and standing. So let's go over some of the events to just put ourselves in that time. So at Matthew 26, that was when Jesus identified Judas as a traitor, and he dismissed him. And then he instituted the Lord's evening meal. He foretold about Peter's denials. And remember, Peter said, "Although others have stumbled you, I will never be stumbled in connection with you. I will never be stumbled." And Jesus told him, "Before a rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times. And Peter was adamant. He stated that even if I shall die with you, I will by no means disown you. And then Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane, what we just saw, and he was in agony. And then he was betrayed. He was questioned by Annas. And then he had the trial by Caiaphas. And then what happens? Peter denies him. And then it dawned. He stated, "I do not know this man." And what happened? Immediately a rooster crowed. And so then we go on to Judas the betrayer. He hangs himself, and then Jesus is before Pilate. Pilate seeks to release, asking, "What did this man do?" And the Jews asked for Barabbas to be released. Jesus was sentenced to death. He was beaten, spit on, mocked, and tortured. And this is the path that he walked to his horrible death. And the Via Dolorosa is the path to Jesus' death is made up of 14 different stations. And we walk past a lot of them here. Some of them are in the church. Here we are at the 3rd station. You can see, I think that may have said 4th, the sign here. And this is the 6th station, where he stopped and, was just in agony. Here at this station, I took a photo because it's believed that he possibly stumbled. And this is really important here. This is a print in the wall that is believed to possibly be a handprint of Jesus. And so, of course, I placed my hand here. I just couldn't fathom it. It's just unbelievable, the things that occurred. And now we are at the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. According to the New Testament, Jesus died at Golgotha. This has been identified as an area of abandoned stone quarries just outside of the city wall at the time. About 10 years after Jesus' death, a third wall was built that enclosed the area of where Jesus died and was buried so that it was within the city, and this accounts for the location being inside the old city of Jerusalem. Today, I am not going to take you on the inside so that you can see the dead side. It was mind-blowing, and it is something that you must go and see for yourself. So if you have the opportunity, I encourage you to go to Jerusalem, Israel, and experience the Via Dolorosa for yourself. Thank you for watching.